Hi, Sara Levin, the Artful Inker here, and I thought I would show you how I used the You Got This stamp set to create this card today and the no-line watercoloring technique. Hold on just a moment while I bring my supplies in and I'll show you quickly. So first I have my tray here, and there's a little bit of rubbing alcohol rather than water in my tray, and I'm going to add to the alcohol 2 or 3 drops of Blackberry Bliss Inker. Doesn't want to squeeze out. It's a newish bottle and wants to stay in with all of its friends, I guess. And then I've got a paintbrush and a tag that I've cut with the ornate tag topper. And I have Blushing Bride ink and my You Got This flower that I have masked. I don't want any of the leaves on my tag. So the first thing that I'm going to do is ink my stamp with Blushing Bride. This will be just dark enough that I can see it to do the watercoloring. And let's stamp. Oh, I did a boo-boo. So here's a lesson. Pull your mask off so that you don't end up with smudges here. For the purposes of this video, though, that's fine. And then I need to mix up my inker and the alcohol. Okay, now the first bit of this is going to be very dark on the brush because I've just done the mixing. Okay, so I've brought us in a little closer and let me show you. So this first is very dark here, and that is great for some of the outlining, and I like to kind of brush off some of the ink here at the top of the rim, and it will dry there. And so the first thing that I do with this very dark brush is go in here and begin to give myself some of these outlines in places that I know it would be dark, like the overlap of some of the petals. And what I find as I paint is that some of this looks absolutely horrid as I begin, and then it seems to get better looking the more of it that's filled in. I don't have a good answer for why that works. I just know that that's my personal opinion of what it looks like to me, and I think, ugh, what a horrible mistake I've made. Okay, so I've kind of run much of the extra dark out, and then I'm going to lighten this up a little bit, run out some of my ink over here on the side, and then begin to paint. And with the alcohol, I can paint on the Whisper White cardstock, and my paper is not going to get and remain saturated. So I'm not worrying about buckling. And I do like to paint until my brush is fairly dry. It tends to give a little more differentiation in tone as you run out of the ink in the brush. And because it has dried, you can come back over a place and add a little more color, again, without worrying about your paper buckling or warping. And the only thing that I try to do is think about, okay, this, say for instance, this petal is headed out this direction, so my strokes are going to head that direction also. That's one of those things that helps to add to the texture of this technique. So I would like a harder line here between that petal and the others. So I'm going to come back over this edge and add a little more ink. So, and here, there's this little bit that I think will be very dark because it's shadowed by the other petals. So I will continue to add ink and come back and show you the finished flower. Okay, so I am almost finished coloring, and I thought I would come back in, or painting I guess I should say. I thought I would come back in and show you before I finish these last details. So what I'm doing, because as I mentioned at the beginning, you can come back over places, I am outlining my petals and they will dry, and then I can come in and add some color. And this one matches a lot, so I'm going to take some of this dried ink here that's deeper and just come and wiggle it into this space so you get a little more differentiation. And I'm going to do some of that here at the top because this petal is behind the others and I know I want it to be darker. And I'm going to start and fill this one in, and again add some of this to give it a little difference. And I need to come in here a little bit. And obviously, since this is no line, once you get painted this far, you're not going to be able to see where the stamped lines are. So you sort of make it up a little bit. And all you're looking to do is have some difference in texture between the petals so that you're not just one big blob on the paper. And for this technique, I don't worry about where the light might be coming from. If my petals are up and down, I stroke up and down. If my petals are pointing out to the side, I stroke that direction, and it just allows all of this to have a little more texture, which is part of what you're always seeking to do with your stamping as you make your cards, is give it a little more texture. Okay, so I think we're going to call that done. It looks like a flower. My center is still a bit pale, and I don't think I'm good enough with the paintbrush, so I'm going to come in with my crushed curry Stampin' Right marker and just color in a bit of, I don't know what, can't remember whether those are pistils or stamens, but brighten that up a little bit. So that's easy. No line watercoloring, but in my case, using alcohol instead of water. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then hop on over to my blog to see what else I'm sharing. Bye.